York has just sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 50 months in prison, 4 years, and a little bit over 4 years in prison for those two counts, those two prostitution-related counts. Of course, this is a blow to Sean Diddy Combs, who had been asking for just 14 months in prison. It's also not what the prosecutors had asked for, which had been far greater, 11 years in prison, and he has received 4 years in prison. Now the judge still on the bench talking about where he will be housed.
The former pastor of Gateway Church in Southlake will spend 6 months in jail after pleading guilty to 5 child sex crimes. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Robert Morris entered his plea in an Oklahoma courtroom. He must also register as a sex offender and pay restitution to his victim. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has more on today.
Four years for being a John. As he said, I was disgusted. I was a horrible human being. I let down black people. I did all the above. All right. But Trump, wasn't it one of Trump's friends? They're saying that was one of his friends. Is that true? That Donald had a buddy that was some evangelistical pastor or some pastor. He just got 6 months. He just got probation. He got 6 months for aping, I'll say use the word aping a 12-year-old child decades ago. This pastor just got 6 months. This is a pastor, which the pastor should even be getting more time. Because he's under the cloak saying, well, you know, I'm representing for God, right? They gave this bastard 6 months. Yes, 6 months. And Sean got to do 4 years and didn't ape nobody? I call BS. First of all, the Mann Act is a stone cold white supremacist law that was created for Jack Johnson because he was running around with white women. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, you transported somebody. Okay, so you transported prostitutes. Well, then Cassie, she should be getting an indictment as well because she bought him. You bought him. He didn't get charged for the charges of a RICO. You're punishing him for the RICO. You failed to prove it in the court of law. People say, well, you know, let's wait till the facts come out. All right. Well, you beat the case. You beat the RICO. Yeah. The man beat the RICO. Whether we like it or not. Is he a slime ball? Yeah, he admits to that. That's not what we're diffusing. That's not what we're talking about. He already admitted to that. Oh, I did some horrible, disgusting things. I let the black community down. We know that. Might have ripped off a couple niggas with some record deals. Yeah, we know that. We know that. But that's not what the charges were. The charges were a RICO, which you didn't really have one in the first place because you weren't making money off of having these freak-offs. And Cassie paid them. So the prostitutes should be bringing her to court and she should be sitting up there with Diddy because you paid for prostitutes. You were a younger girl. The man probably manipulated you, ran a whole bunch of game. This nigga probably wanted to be a pimp. He probably thought he was sugar free or something like that. Got a trafficking charge and beat it. So now you bringing some whores, because that's what they're saying. If you transported prostitutes across state lines and they're using these women's names, hey, one lady said she was pressured by the feds. That should have been taken in consideration. That's a bullshit. This is kangaroo court. That's an I'm white not say so kangaroo court law. Bottom line. Because if you can't give the pedophile pastor no more than 6 months, but you're telling me in a federal charge, this man got to do 4 years, I call cap. I call cap. But, you know, another thing, he kind of got a sweet deal compared to the RICO because he could have been doing life. So, Sean, Puffy ought to count his blessings. So we got to look at it from that standpoint and let this be a learning experience for the young guys that got a big old bag. You may not have 100 million plus like him, but man, you might be sitting on some serious tickets. You're not even that. This ain't just for the rich to learn from this, y'all. Underline the word ego. That's one of the things he mentioned. Now, I'm using his words. I'm using Sean's words. Sean said, my ego. So you let your ego get the best of you? You thought you were bigger than the program, bigger than the world? And now you got these charges. You should have been kicking it. We've seen this with Suge Knight. Who would ever think? Now that you would look up. I mean, Master P, he got away. He got his money. He wasn't involved in those scandals and stuff like that. But they don't always let you get away. Suge Knight sitting in the cell right now. Who would ever think back in the day, in these guys' heyday, at the top of their game, that they would be sitting in a cell 20 years later after multi-platinum records, mansions, publishing deals out the yin-yang, money, all of that. So they get this tethered judge that will not, that won't talk to the prosecutor. You know, the prosecutors work with each other. That won't talk to the prosecutor and be like, hey, Cassie and all these others is paying some money. Hey, y'all got to get rolled up in this too. A RICO's not usually one man. That's why it was a kangaroo court bullshit charge. A RICO is not one damn man. When have you ever had one man with a RICO? A criminal enterprise should be a plethora of people. And they failed to prove it because they didn't have a damn case. And now Comey got indicted. His daughter ain't on the case no more. I heard she got fired. And his brother-in-law or his son-in-law or something like that. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good, people. It's not looking good. But 4 years, 1 year time served. But that was a bullshit case. You charged him with a RICO. That was the #1 charge. They had to give him something. But you charged the man with a RICO. You failed to prove that. You wasted my damn tax dollars. You wasted my tax dollars. So it was a year of jokes, baby oil, all this kind of stuff, but you wasted my damn tax money with this shit. That's our federal tax dollar. New York ought to be outraged. But you let the pedophile preacher get 6 months, people. How does that work? With the Mann Act. With the Mann Act. That law ought to be thrown out altogether. That law should be canceled. Because it was based off Jack Johnson. That's why they created that law. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, well, we know what happens. That nigga about to go to jail. Yeah, he's not going in a Rolls Royce. I said, put that nigga in a Rolls Royce and give him a damn fine. She got $20 million for her ass beat. She hired prostitutes, whether he was telling her to do it or not. You stayed around the dude for years and years and years. You were participating in the freak-offs. Everybody knew about it. That's what y'all was getting into. And now the man got to do 4 years, and the pastor got to do 6 months. Can somebody tell me where part of the game is at?